Hey, welcome back! Well, I'll start off by saying this episode might be a little uncomfortable, but I think we need to talk about it. If you've ever been told you have a disorder, like depression, anxiety, insomnia, something else, that label came from a book, the DSM, or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. It's published by the American Psychiatric Association. It decides what's normal and what's disordered. But here's the question. Who gets to decide what normal is? So let me tell you a little bit about this book's history. The DSM has been updated many times, not because a new brain part is discovered, but because of changing opinions about what's acceptable to society. One example of a change is being gay. It was listed as a mental disorder until 1973. They didn't find a gay gene that year. It was just that culture had changed and people pushed back. And suddenly, it wasn't a disorder anymore. And then there are certain sexual preferences in the BDSM community, pathologized for decades. But now the DSM says it's only a problem or disorder if it causes the person with it distress. The behavior itself didn't change and the people didn't change. The label is what changed. So here's the pattern. The DSM reflects what the culture thinks is normal, not what actually is wrong with your brain and nervous system, because it's describing what people see on the outside. So who decides what is normal? And here's an interesting fact for us, because people like me have the guardian temperament, and we make up about 40 to 45% of the population in the United States. We're the biggest group. And the guardian values are tradition, stability, rules, systems, fitting in, doing things the right way. Normal gets defined, but why most people are doing what they do. That's normal. And it's statistics. So what statistically is normal in a bell curve. If you're different from the majority, that's called abnormal. Abnormal. And abnormal gets a diagnosis. But is the person really disordered? Or is it the environment is just not built for them now, current environment, post-civilization? So let's talk about depression. The old explanation has been it's caused by a chemical imbalance in your brain and you need medication to fix it. That makes it sound like your brain itself is broken. But remember what we learned about the whole nervous system? Depression is often a shutdown response, dorsal vagal. Your nervous system learned, this is too much, I can't fight, I can't run, so shut down. That's not a broken brain, that's a survival response. So in an overwhelming situation, shutting down might have kept you alive. And everybody is really stressed out right now. So there's plenty of anxiety disorders and depression. So the disorder is your body trying to protect you. Same with anxiety. Anxiety disorders. Panic disorder. Social anxiety disorder. It says your brain is broken and here's a pill to fix it. But what's actually happening, your nervous system is in a threat mode. Plus you've got all those beliefs running, like, I'm not safe, something bad will happen, I'm not good enough, I'm wicked stressed out. Ah! Your nervous system is doing its job, looking for the danger. The problem isn't the fact that it's looking for danger. The problem is it learned to see danger everywhere. Anxiety is a signal. The signal says, I don't feel safe. Taking a pill to shut off the signal without asking why you don't feel safe in the first place, that's like unplugging the smoke detector instead of looking for an actual fire. So things like ADHD, autism, might have other explanations. Also personality disorders. More and more, neuroatypicality is seen as being a different type of person who thinks in different ways. Not just that you are broken. And ADHD is a different kind of brain. It might be great in some situations. It's a disorder only because school and work aren't designed for it. Autism, processing things differently, the social stuff, the senses, the patterns. It's a disorder only because we expect everyone to act the same exact way. And then look at the personality disorder cluster. Axis 2, they used to call it, but that is gone too in the latest DSM. Personality disorders are often people who never learn to regulate their emotions or attach safely, manifested in different ways, because no one taught them that stuff. Instead of asking, what's wrong with you, maybe ask, what environment would you actually do well in? And I need to tell you something. I worked in this system for over 25 years. I was a psychiatric nurse first and then a prescriber. And it's changed a lot, especially since the COVID lockdown. But over the course of those 25 years, I diagnosed people, like thousands of patients I saw and diagnosed. I saw a lot of trauma. I saw how bodies responded. So I had this intuitive thing going on. But I'm in a profession, so I was trained in their system. I went to their conferences, and I saw a lot of groupthink, tunnel vision, people not questioning the way things were done. When I tried to offer a slight challenge about how we framed attachment disorders, because I was seeing some manifestations in people that didn't quite match the strict category, my supervisor publicly humiliated me in a meeting, and that shut me up. That's what happened when you question the system. So when I tell you the mental health system is falling apart, I'm not guessing. I lived it, and I left it. Everyone needs help when I look around, including the people who work in it. Therapists are burning out. Prescribers are burning out. Like over 70% of female prescribers are burned out. Big companies are buying up practices. Insurance has high deductibles for people who can't afford visits, they say, at the start of the year. Or they can afford food or their meds. And you have to wait 6 months for an appointment now. And then maybe you get 15 minutes with someone who just writes you prescriptions where you don't get much time to talk and say what's going on. So let's follow the money. Here's the problem. Drug companies make money when you take pills forever. Insurance companies make money when they deny your claims and give you less benefits. Big mental health companies make money by seeing as many people as possible, paying the staff less, and charging you more fees. Nobody makes money when you actually get better. So root causes don't get addressed. Symptoms get managed, and they get managed forever. And everyone is making a buck off this. So what do we do? For yourself, if you need mental health treatment, there are good therapists, and they still exist. Find one. And pills might help you get through, but I always saw them as a Band-Aid. They're not a cure. And I always believed in root causes. And then the body practices, the stuff from episode 9. And then understanding your own patterns, like shadow work. We'll get into that more, but find safe people you trust for that co-regulation. Or if you just need a hug sometimes, you need someone to help you calm down or lift you up. For all of us, we need collective healing, not just individual. Look at the big picture here. The disconnection, the loneliness epidemic, the mental health crisis, all the stress we're in constantly, the trauma passed down through generations. So we can only hope to get our proverbial shit together. And for the next generation, attachment parenting. And not just the parents, all of us adults. We can give kids what we didn't get. We'll break the chain. One generation of well-attached kids changes everything. They don't have the machines running anymore of shame. They can feel safe. So here's what I want you to know. You are not just disordered. That's a category, that's a label on what's happening on the outside. But a lot of it, when we talk about tribal life and civilization, is that you're having a normal response to a situation that wasn't and isn't normal. Your nervous system learned what it learned. Your symptoms are signals, not proof that you're broken. And the real problem? We're in a society that's disconnected, that thinks we have to thrive on stress, with trauma that never got dealt with, environments that make people sick, and a system that makes money by keeping you unwell. So on that note, we're going to get on to some better stuff. So this is the end of Phase 2B, or How Civilization Broke Us. Phase 2C is coming, the way out. The actual practices, putting it together, rebuilding. But for now, just know you're not broken. You're not just a disorder with legs. You're a human being dealing with a world that wasn't built for humans to thrive. And we can change that. We really can. We have more power than we think. So I'll see you in Phase 2.